from Bali. Hi, Keiko. Say hi to me as you are hopping on. Hey, Erica. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Shauna. Wait just a moment for everyone to get their notifications. Okay. Good morning from Perth. We have all the water. We have literally the ocean, which I should show you guys how. Look at those waves. Let's see. Oh, it's not letting me. Those are some big waves out there. And then we also have a water fountain that's trickling. So you're getting all the water sounds. Oh my goodness, look how bad my roots need to be done. This is what happens when you're working all the live long day and you don't have time to get to the salon. Hoi, that needs to happen ASAP. But I am wearing some amazing, amazing new earrings that just arrived from Kim Wheeler, the little brown wren. How epic are these? Giant Herkimer diamonds. So good. So good, so good. I have so many more things to unwrap. I also received my Lionsgate portal bracelet. All of you guys had yours before me, but there's mine. I just barely got it, so I'm wearing that today too. Super powerful energy in that from our Lionsgate portal activation that we did. Thank you, Kelly. It's actually a dress. They are magical, aren't they? Then I just got delivered my fresh Balinese orange juice, so I'm set. So good. Now I'm ready to talk about things. Oh yeah, the energy the last few days has been crazy, hey? So, I was meant to be on another call. I had cleared my schedule so I could be on the call. And then the time of the call got shifted. And so I decided I would come to a live stream instead. I recorded an epic podcast yesterday with Sigourney Weldon. And I'm really excited for that to be released. We'll be releasing it in the next few days. Oh my gosh, I need to get my Healy. I haven't run my Healy. I didn't run my Healy yesterday at all, or the day before, I think. I need to grab it. My team came and arranged my room and like put everything away. And so now I have like my Healy's put away, so I don't see it, so then I don't grab it. So I have to make sure I tell them, just don't put the Healy away, like leave the Healy out, so that I remember to strap it on me. Yeah, the Herkimers are so good, right? Little Brown Wren. She's on Facebook and on Instagram. I think somebody just tagged her here in the live stream. So Kim Harlan Wheeler, Little Brown Wren. She's in the United States, but she ships worldwide. Hey, Anya. So let's talk about things. Let's talk about the things. So I don't know if you guys are following, and I follow from a distance when I follow. Like, this is the thing to know. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't get wrapped up in all of the propaganda, but I am sort of following what's happening with places locking down. And so Malaysia just completely locked down again last night. And so we are absolutely moving into phase 2 of this fear pandemic. And, you know, it was interesting because in the first wave of these cases, like, I only really knew one person personally that got coronavirus. And then I knew, and then a friend of mine's grandparents both died from coronavirus. And so that was kind of the extent. And I knew people that knew people or whatever, but it wasn't really super close to home. And, you know, and that's a bit difficult because it's like, when you're able to see through the programming and the conditioning, and you're able to see that it is in large part a power play, and yeah, Kim, we were just showing off these gorgeous earrings. I still haven't done my full unboxing, but when I got dressed this morning, I have on this brown and white striped dress, and I was like, oh, those Herkimers will be so good. So I am wearing my Herkimers, my Crackimers, we call them Crackimers, and I am also wearing my Lionsgate bracelet. So that's what we were talking about you. And then Nicole was wondering how she could get in touch with you. And so here she is on the live stream. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, the struggle is real. Just everyone feel bad for me for how much that I'm working, that I actually have allowed my roots to get this bad. Oh my God. It's a mess. And do I have lipstick on my teeth? Wow. I'm really struggling today, you guys. Do you guys know the lipstick trick? Where you stick your finger in your mouth like that and then you don't get lipstick on your teeth? Wow. Well, rare form today. Here we are. Anyway, so what I was saying is, when you're able to see what's happening, and like the global power play that's happening, so the manipulation and the, you know, how we're being controlled and conditioned and programmed, and you don't really know anyone who is, you know, in the throes of suffering from the sickness, it makes it really difficult to, you know, and then being in Bali where we're quite removed from it, because there's just not many cases here at all. Like, it's made it quite difficult to really connect to what's happening with the collective around the virus. And so what's happened in this last wave is people that I know have gotten really, really sick, and they're all recovering, right? But it's, you know, they're definitely like going through this horrible sickness, and it's still being used as a giant propaganda machine to fuel a fear pandemic. And that fear pandemic is a much greater risk to our collective than the virus. And so it's really interesting because I've felt the energy. In fact, yesterday I canceled a bunch of activations and transmissions that I was scheduled to do because the energy was so chaotic and so hectic. And I could feel that something was coming, and it was feeling like very constrictive, the energy. And then, of course, like last night, all of Malaysia locked down, or early this morning. I'm not sure exactly the timing on it. And so what we have is like the second wave of lockdowns coming on a global scale. And, you know, obviously for my friends in Melbourne, you guys, this isn't second wave. You're just like full-time wave. Like we haven't had a second wave. And so, you know, what's happening right now in the collective consciousness? Well, we are feeling, oh my gosh, Keiko is outside eating her bowl and it's so loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So we're feeling all the feelings of that sacral and root chakra fear response being triggered again, right? So now everyone's like, oh, are we going to go into lockdown again? Oh, is everything going to shut down again? Am I going to lose my job? You know, I mean, it's like all of that fear response is being triggered again. And you know, what's happening is you can feel in the collective consciousness that internet use has gone back up again. So I don't know if you guys recall this feeling, but there was so much EMF radiation on this planet while this was happening because everyone was on their phones all the time. Everyone was on all their devices all the time, checking the news, like obsessively checking what's happening, how many cases, you know, who's shutting down, what's going on, like what's the government saying, what's the response time. Like everyone was pushed into this frantic, like, you know, just we have to know. And so we had like, you know, that in and of itself was really taxing on our physical bodies and on our energy bodies as well. And so that's happening again, like that's starting to ramp up again. So we're starting to feel that in the collective. So one of the things I really want to encourage you to do this go round, and I know that this is difficult because I know that like as human beings, we want to know what's happening. But here's the thing, like, think back to when it happened the first time. Did it serve you to be constantly on your phone checking stuff? Was it actually serving your highest and best good? Or was it just making you more agitated, more anxious, more worried, more confused because no one was getting straight information on what was going on intentionally, right? So I just ask you, like, I'm asking you to really carefully consider how you follow this next phase of the fear pandemic, because we get a choice right now. So we have a choice of playing into it and allowing the programming and conditioning to do its job and allowing it to get us upset, allowing it to get us flustered, allowing it to get us all riled up, or we get to actually take this for what it is, which I don't think we fully know. If I had to hedge my bets, I would bet that this was man-made and intentionally released. But we don't know, right? We don't know. What we do know is there's a virus. What we do know is that there's a virus and that it was killing people, and that we had misinformation about ventilators that was making it worse. And the other thing that we know is a lot of people are getting this, majority of people, I mean, you know, in the 99th percentile are getting this and recovering. And that it's a horrible sickness. And that people who are elderly and suffering from other medical conditions are passing away, and that's very sad. but that also happens every year with the flu. And so I'm asking that we really put this in perspective, because the power play, the power grab that's happening here is that fear is being triggered and used to get us to an emotionally charged place so that we're easier to control and manipulate. And if we take that power away from them and we choose not to get ourselves into an emotional frenzy, we choose not to get ourselves into a panic, we choose not to be obsessively checking the media outlets and news and internet to see, how many new cases there are in our county and or in our country or in our city or in our town, or how many people died today globally. Like, if we just step away from that for a moment and focus on what's really important, which I believe is our health and our immunity and building our immune systems and getting outside and getting some vitamin D, even if it's just having to stand in your backyard or on your front porch if you're in lockdown. But instead of focusing on the fear side of this, focusing on what we can do to move through this as a collective. And I think this is really important right now. We've got some major astrological transits happening in the next couple of months. And there is, we're moving into the age of Aquarius. We're moving from, so on this podcast that I did with Sigourney yesterday, we were talking about this, and I can't wait for it to be released so you guys can listen to it. But we were talking about Saturn moving into Aquarius, and that, Saturn has been in Capricorn which is it's exalted in Capricorn. It's its home, right? It is the place where, like, we benefit most from Capricorn being, or from Saturn being, is in Capricorn. And Sigourney was talking about it being these, that we've been given this incredible, beautiful opportunity this year to build firm foundations, particularly in our businesses. And, for me, it's like, I'm really feeling that sense of urgency around our purpose work, around stepping into our purpose work again, and how important that is. And so Sig and I were kind of riffing on that. And, she was talking about how Saturn in Capricorn has allowed us to really lay firm foundations for our businesses. And that those of us that took advantage of that this year, those of us that really took this time that we had when everything closed down to reflect and to figure out what we want in life and to start laying those foundations for our businesses and for our future, that those people are really going to move into 2021 in a very strong place. And Sig was talking about, really feeling like those people were going to reap the rewards of the work that they did this year. And we were both very much in agreement that there's been a lot of people that haven't taken advantage of that time, and that have, gotten really wrapped up in this fear pandemic, that instead of, focusing inward and looking at, how can I better myself during this time? What do I really want from life? Took the opportunity that we had for reflection and actually reflected. The people that didn't do that, 2021 is going to be much worse than 2020. Because we're moving into a 5-year. So Saturn is moving out of Capricorn and moving into Aquarius. Some say that actually officially begins the age of Aquarius on December 17th. But that opportunity that we had to build those foundations is gone. And I just saw Taryn just hopped on, and I, as I was reflecting on this morning, I was like, of course. So we started a new business here in Bali. We've been laying the foundations. We've been getting the foundations firmly put in place. And I'm like, no coincidence that we did this now, right? We did this and got this going. And both Taryn and I think felt this incredible sense of urgency. And I think a lot of people were like, didn't get it. I don't think we even fully got it, but now it's making sense. And it's like, and Taryn's saying, yay, Aquarius, because she's an Aquarius. And so, so now as Saturn moves out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, it's a whole other ballgame. And we've lost that opportunity to build those firm foundations. So, I mean, I guess I'm saying this to say to you that you've got a couple of months, like you've got 2 months to get your shit together. You've got 2 months to, Keiko, you've got 2 months to build those foundations, to lay those foundations, to have that support of Saturn in Capricorn, to really get clear on what it is that you are desiring to create in your life, and to anchor those in right now. Because as we move into Aquarius, as we know, like this is the sign of the spiritualist, right? So now we're talking about quantum realm visitation and working in the quantum realm and working in the quantum field and knowledge and wisdom and spirituality and the collective. And our focus is very much going to shift to what do systems and structures now begin to look like for the collective, from what do structures and systems look like for me as an individual to what do systems and structures look like for the collective. You want to have your ducks in a row by the time this happens. You really, really do. And so there is a huge sense of urgency. So if you've been fucking around being like, yeah, I've got time, like I'll do that next week, or, waiting for your purpose work to be perfect before you launch it into the world, this is a wake-up call saying you've got 2 months, less than 2 months. So you better get on it. I was just going to say something else. What was it? So I was talking about Aquarius. I was talking about... Yeah, I mean, listen, if you have been interested in astrology and studying astrology, like it is literally the best time in history, I feel like, in our history anyway, in our generations of history, to begin studying astrology, because there's so much happening in the world right now that is just playing out in real time. Like we're literally seeing, like that saying it's written in the stars has never been more true than right now. Like we're literally watching everything that the astrologists are predicting coming to fruition, because we have such major astrological events happening right now. And so, and continuing to happen, like just continuing to happen. And so, if that's something that's been interesting to you, like definitely do it. And then, financial stuff, like when we're talking about financial stuff, as that I've been saying, like we are going to see a complete collapse of our financial systems and structures. And it's beginning now. It's going to continue. It will continue on through 2024. And then we will have a rebuilding period between 2024 and 2027. So it's, I don't actually feel like this is a time where we need to worry about building financial systems and structures. I think that you need to be worrying about, and not even worrying, but I think that you need to be wise and proactive in how and where you're investing, and how and where you're investing. And and even crypto right now I think is really risky. We just don't know what's going to be happening. And for me, until January of 2021, I really wouldn't be making any large investments. Like I just wouldn't. I would be you can put money into things that you're going to get a return on investment for. But if you're depending upon that return on investment coming from a bank or a financial institution of any kind, I would not be counting on that. So I know what I was going to say. So the other thing that Sigourney was saying to me that I was just like, oh my God, like sent off so many light bulbs. And I was like, of course, is that Aquarius is actually the archetype of the alien. So we move into the age of the alien. What does that mean for us? Well, I think it means disclosure's coming. I think it means that I need to give myself a time check. Okay, got 15 minutes. I think it means that disclosure is happening soon of our government's knowledge of celestial life forms. I think that it means that we are going to begin having more experiences with whatever you desire to call it, extraterrestrial beings, galactic federations, celestial beings, whatever term you want to use. I believe that, you know, like we experienced in the late 80s and the early 90s, it's going to begin to become more commonplace. And I think that's going to happen for two reasons. One, because those beings actually are going to be making themselves more known to our collective, those that are ready to receive and see and experience that. And I also think our governments are going to be manipulating us by staging sightings and abductions and landings and things like that. So again, it's going to be a place where we really need to have discernment and not buy into fear propaganda. Which again will be pushed on us to do what? Get us emotionally charged so they can control and manipulate us. So, so the age of the alien, right? Like, what is that going to mean for 240 years? Well, what I really truly believe is that it's going to be a reclamation of sorts, because what I believe is that we are going to be given opportunity to reclaim all of the lost wisdom, all of the lost knowledge, all of the lost technology from our ancient civilizations. So I think we're going to be given an opportunity to reascend, to reclaim that which has been lost. And I think then on top of that, we are going to see tremendous advancements in everything, in technology, certainly, but also in our own, the functioning of our physical vessel. And so really what I see coming in this age of Aquarius or this age of the alien is a real, more wisdom and knowledge about what it takes to have longevity, but longevity that is very vital. So, I think we're going to begin to see life expectancies growing and growing and growing. And I would not be surprised if during this age of the alien, we get back to seeing people living to ages that were talked about in the Bible, you know, which were people living to in the 900s. So you might think I'm off my rocker, but here's what I know. Right now, with the technology that they already have around cellular regeneration, likely the majority of us that are in good health right now are going to be living till we're at least 150. And that's just with what they have right now. That would be with no more advancements and no more technological advancements coming in the field of life extension. And so, you know, this is the other side of my business that I don't talk about as much, because I've got, you know, my whole wealth alchemy side of things, and then I've got my immortality side of things. And so this is a lot of that research and a lot of that studying that I do on that side that I'm really excited about what's coming in this next age. So, you know, I guess this live stream really was about just a call to mind your mind. Okay, so mind your mind while all this is happening. Don't allow yourself to get caught up and wrapped up in the manipulation, to be have that conditioning and programming be triggered. begin to think for yourself. You've got choices in this. And I think that that's really the very, very most important thing, is that you have choices. My free program, Ouroboros, the Ouroboros experience, started yesterday. I'm so excited. I had 150 people on the call. We've got 450 people approved, I think, at this point. By the way, if you have applied and you have not received an email from me, everyone has been notified at this point that is applied. So please check your junk, your spam, search Leah Steele in your email client, search support at theleahsteele.com. And if you still haven't seen anything from me, send a private message to me or an email to Sophie, Sophie at theleahsteele.com, and we will make sure that we get you access to the group. So we've only had the welcome call. We have one of my amazing Wealth Alchemy apprentices, Laura Johnson, doing a content call on the 24th. And then I will have my first in-depth content call on Monday, the 26th. So there's still time to apply. Applications are open till Sunday. So if you haven't already applied, you've still got time to do that. So definitely come join us in there. We're going to be talking a lot about deconstructing programming and conditioning. And we're going to be looking at all of this kind of base level root chakra and sacral chakra, which is where the fear pandemic is hitting us. Those are the chakras that they are targeting to control and manipulate us, to get us in line, to get us in that place of being frantic. And so I was trying to grab you the link for the free do I not have it? Listen, I'm just going to give you the link that's straight to application, because I don't know if any of my team is on right now, or if let's just give you, I'm going to just give you direct to application, not the lead page. So if you know that you want to sign up for the experience, go fill out this Google form. That's the quickest way to get plugged into the experience. And yeah, so we're going to be looking at a lot of the emotions that they're targeting in the root and sacral chakra that get us activated and actively participating in this fear pandemic. There's never been a better time on this planet to deconstruct your money shit. Because it is how they target us. They target us through lack and scarcity. They target us through disrupting our safety, stability, and security. And I'm not sure what link it says November 5th it's starting. I don't know what you're talking about, Alice. So the full Ouroboros program is starting November 11th, but there's not anything starting November 5th. So if you just send me a message, I can get you a link to the Facebook group. But yeah, so this is where this is where they target us, is in they trigger our midbrain response and put us in fight, flight, freeze by disrupting our feelings of safety, stability, and security. And so we're going to be looking at that in this program. We're going to be looking at how to deconstruct that programming and how to deconstruct that conditioning and how to actually release those anchors and ties and those access points where they access us. So I'm excited about doing that work. The full Ouroboros program could not be coming at a better time. It just could not, because of the enormous shift and change that's happening in the planet right now. And I've said that the global financial elite, as we make this move into the age of Aquarius, they're not going to go quietly into the dark night, right? Like, they're going to come in guns blazing. Like, we're in a full-on battle for the soul of humanity right now. Those in power right now desire to stay in power. Those in power right now desire to continue to have their stronghold over the collective consciousness. They desire to be able to continue to control and manipulate and have complete and utter domain over all of the most precious resources of this planet. And they desire to continue to use each new being that is born on this planet, each new human being that's born on this planet, as a commodity. And as we're moving into this age of Aquarius, that is no longer going to be in energetic alignment. And so we're going to see even more of a divide than what we're already seeing. We've already begun to see this tremendous chasm, but in people that are awake and are waking up to all of this, and people that are, either asleep or going back to sleep and really buying into all of this fear, like buying into this fear pandemic. And so that chasm is going to just continue to become a larger and larger divide. And you are going to be very easily triggered back into this place of programmed, conditioned, compliant commodity, because this power play has only just begun. As the energy begins to shift on the planet, they are going to have to get more aggressive in how they are controlling and manipulating. They are going to have to get more aggressive in the fear tactics that they are using. And so that's why I'm saying, like, 2020 was a dress rehearsal. Like, we ain't seen nothing yet. Like, they're about to pull out all of their tricks. And those of us that are still not disconnected from the matrix, those of us that are not disconnected from that programming and conditioning, are going to very easily be pulled back into it. So for me, I'm like, wow, like, how fortuitous that, because this wasn't actually planned to have Ouroboros during November. It was supposed to happen months ago, but because this year's been all about fluidity, it got shifted. And now I'm like, now I know why it got shifted. It got shifted because that work needs to be being done over the last couple months of this year and into first quarter of next year, because that is when all of these slavery codes that they've instilled in us are going to be activated. It's when they are going to be doing everything they can to activate those slavery codes to get you fully in line and back shackled into your financial slavery consciousness, especially those of you that have started to wake up. So it's vitally important that we deconstruct this programming. It's vitally important that we look at this programming and conditioning, and that we look at it not only from our perspective in this timeline, but we look at it on an ancestral level. So one of the things that we do in the full Ouroboros program is do maternal and paternal ancestral line clearing. We also, within your maternal line and your paternal line, we go into 8 branches of your family tree and we clear back 20 generations. So there's a tremendous amount of emotional clearing work that we're doing in this program. We then also look multi-dimensionally, and we look at the 13 chakra systems. So we're looking at not only our energy, our physical body energy chakras, but we're also looking at the transpersonal chakras, and we're doing clearing in that. And so what this is enabling us to do is, on a multi-dimensional playing field, because we are multi-dimensional beings, that's already been proven, on a multi-dimensional playing field, we are deactivating these slavery codes. We are freeing you from financial slavery consciousness. We are taking away we are disconnecting all of the electrical outlets that they plug the programming and conditioning into, so that you can actually see. You can just leave those down here because Taryn will grab hers. So you can just leave on the table. Thanks. So what we are doing is actually going in and deconstructing that programming and conditioning and freeing you from those codes, and giving you an opportunity to step into an entirely new paradigm and new way of being and new way of doing things, unplugged from the matrix, giving you the eyes to be able to see what is actually happening in our reality, and not just what you've been programmed and conditioned to see and believe is true. And that is actually what ultimately creates freedom, including economic freedom, because it creates choice. You're no longer just walking around like a slave zombie. So that's what Ouroboros is about. And the paid program, the full 4-month kit and caboodle, whole shebang, begins on November 11th. And early bird is actually available now until the 26th of October. So you can save $333 right now and also get the incredible bonuses that are available. And yeah, so that's that. I guess I should be giving the links. I don't even know where the links are though, to be honest. And I don't think I have any team on this call right now. Where are the links? Where can I find the links, do you think? In Telegram? I'm supposed to be on another call right now. Let's see. Links. There we go. Here is the link to the full program where you can get early bird. And if you are an alumni, you're going to want to sign up for alumni right away. If you're an alumni and you haven't received the lead page for alumni specifically, let me know and I will get that to you ASAP. So that is it. I am going to say farewell. Again, if you haven't applied for the free program, definitely do that. Applications are open till Sunday. If you are ready to deconstruct all of this programming and conditioning, come and join me in Ouroboros 4. I promise you it will be the best investment that you have ever made into your financial future. That's it. I love you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world, as you are watching this live stream or the replay. And remember, it is your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of life. And you are so worthy and you are so deserving, and you were not destined to be trapped in this slavery consciousness that you're currently existing in. So it's time to free yourself. So do the thing and click that link and come and join me in Ouroboros. Mwah!